Hello everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. It's me Chetan Magar and welcome to my channel. Okay, let's start. Zelensky reject proposal for buffer zone to end war in the Ukraine war. Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky has rejected proposal for buffer zone between Ukrainian and Russian forces as part of a peace deal, agreeing it does not reflect the realities of modern warfare. Only those who not understand the technological state of today's war propose a buffer zone, he told reports on Friday. His commitment followed a report suggesting European leaders were considering a 40-kilometer 24 miles buffer zone as part of either a ceasefire or long-term agreement. The war in Ukraine has evolved into a conflict driven from drone technology, and Zelensky suggests a buffer zone of sport already exists because of the threat of drone strike close to the front line. Buffer zone can create demilitarized zone between warring countries such as North and South Korea and physical boundaries such as the Iron Curtain, which separated the Soviet bloc and the West following World War II. According to a report to a Politico, European diplomacy European diplomats said the proposal among military and civilian officials was for a strip of land in Ukraine to be locked off between the two forces. But Zelensky said there already was an area on either side of the front line where heavy Alitrave was unable to operate because of the risk of drone fire. Today, our heavy weapons are locked at a distance of more than 10 km for each team. Other, because everything is hit by drone, he said, this buffer I called it a dead zone. Some called it a grey zone. It already exists. Any such deal could also mean Ukraine give up some territory within the zone, which Zelensky also rejected. If Russians want to have a greater distance from us, they can retreat deep into the temporary
occupied territory of Ukraine. He added that Russia was not ready for diplomacy but seeking way to postpone the end of the war. A US-led diplomatic offensive to end Russian full-scale war, which has now lasted more than 40 months, appeared to be losing momentum. A high-strike meeting last week between US President Donald Trump, Zelensky and European leader raised hope for a possible summit between the Ukrainian leader and Russian Vladimir Putin. But those hopes are looking increasingly remote, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz said there were obviously not be a meeting and it looked like Putin was unwilling to take part. Russia fired 629 drone and missiles at Kiev in the early hours of Thursday, killing 23 people in one of the biggest areas assaulting of the war. So further has promised outrage from European leader to missile landed near the EU's office in central Kiev. After talk in the French city of Toulon, Metz and French Emmanuel Macron said they could increase pressure on Russia due to Putin showing a little interest in ending the war. Macron said that if Putin did not meet a Monday deadline to agree to the talk, it will show again President Putin has played President Trump. Means suggest the war could last many more months. EU Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas has condemned Russian ongoing assault on civilians and civilian infrastructure, which are a deliberate escalation and undermine effort toward peace. On Friday, Zelensky Chief of Staff Andriy Yermak discussed U.S. peace move with Trump special envoy Steve Witkoff as well as U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Vice President of Japan. Yermak said after that meeting in New York that while Ukraine welcomed all fresh initiatives put forward by the US, unfortunately each of them is being settled by Russia. European leaders are working on providing Ukraine with security guarantee if a deal with Russia can be agreed. Kaja Kallas said that US Defense Ministry has agreed on Friday that they would need to be robust, credible, and Zelensky said he expected talk to continue next week on NATO-like commitment that could provide Ukraine with protection. However, Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova described latest Western proposal as one-sided and aimed to contamine Russian. Security guarantee must be based on achieving a common understanding that take into account Russian security interests, he said. India and China pledged to be partner, not rival. The leader of China and India say there is now developing trust between them after a year of tension that including a long-running border dispute. China President Xi Jinping and Indian PM Narendra Modi met on the sideline of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) in the port city of Tianjin. It is it Modi's first time in China 7 years. Xi told Modi that China and India should be partner, not rival, when Modi said there was now an atmosphere of peace and stability between them. President Putin is also at the summit attended by the 20 world leaders, but this year overhead down by a trade war with the US. President Trump has imposed steep tariff on Indian goods and punishment for delay, continued purchase of Russian oil and Putin forced threat of sanctions for his ongoing war on Ukraine. As the US-India relationship faces increasing headwind, Modi is moving closer to see both countries are not only the most populous but also have two of the biggest economies in the world. Modi announced that fight between India and China suspended sign deadly trap clash on their shared Himalayan border in 2020 would resume without providing a timeline. She said that both sides need to approach and handle our relationship from a strategic height and long-term perspective, and that it is on the right choice for both sides of the fence. The SCO summit itself are largely symbolic but will allow leaders to a common grievance and shared interest. It comes the day before a massive military parade in Beijing that will mark 80 years since the end of the World War II. There are 10 member states in the grouping, including Russia, Pakistan, Iran, and 16 dialogue partner and observer. Putin, who is a closely ally of China, arrived to a red carpet welcome in Tanzania on Sunday. The SCO was created by China, Russia, and four Central Asian countries in 2001 as a countermeasure of limit of influence of Western allies such as NATO. This year's gathering is a large sign it was funded. For Tanzania, the summit has become a major event with banner and billboard promoting with throughout the northern Port city. At night, tens of thousands of local spectators have been streaming into the riverside area to see highlight show display on tower block with the gathering is taking place. The streets have been heavily crowded, making it difficult for people to even move, especially on and around the historic Jiffing Bridge. During the day, pedestrians are at times being made to wait as a roadblock go up to all the motorcade of visiting world leader to pass by quickly. Taxi and other hire car service have been suspended in the downtown area, but this has not dampened the enthusiasm of crowd of people wanting to be part of what has been described as a historic meeting. However, police has advised Tanzania more than 3 million residents to avoid moving around the city of if possible to seek to stop near them to process any immediate necessaries. Downtown. Georgie Clooney, Jack Show its time, film and TV stopped drooling over the super rich. This new big screen comedy drama starring the listener as a Hollywood superstar traveling across Europe is the last glory tribute to the 1%, and it's getting boring. It must be thought to be a stupidly handsome, stupidly rich Hollywood superstar that at last in the message of Joe Kelly, a new comedy drama from Near Bombchit, the director of The Squid and the Well 2005, Friends Ha 2012, and Marriage Story 2019. The rich and handsome Hollywood superstar who gives the film its title played for Gorgie Clooney, so it's hardly a stretch. May seem have a charmed life what with his sterling body of work and his team of doting assistants, but he is starting to have doubt about the validity of his acting role, and he is worried that he hasn't spent enough time with his daughter, one of whom is backpacking around European with friends. Now, do you see how thought it so far him? Expected, it turns out that he needn't have worried. Sugaring of the film, he is due to start shooting Joe Simmons a flat of ring rovers to zip him and his entourage to a private jet that will whiskey them across the Atlantic. He will then catch the some train from Paris and his daughter and travel with her to receive a lifetime achievement award at an art festival on Thursday. Everything is sorted out from him by his employee, led by his faithful manner, Adam Sandler, who
Is so touchingly pained and exhausting that he could be in line for a Best Supporting Actor Oscar. True, the first class carriages on the train are full, but everyone is the rest of the train are guaranteed. Joy with neglect quoted true. He hasn't been a perfect father, but his daughter still love him. Conflict involving his egoistical father and as envious old friend from acting school are spreadly away by the higher help. Even first world problems are no problems for joy, and that's the fatal flaw that's run through J. Keel, who permit at the Bannock Film Festival on Thursday and will go coming to Netflix in December. When a protagonist can make his wish come true with a click of his finger or to be Paris. a flash of his megawatt smile that all joy, party, and tension vanish. The viewer can kill at the fullest joke and go at the sun. The historical hill town of Troskari, but it's difficult to care about joy anxieties. What at sick after all, what the worst that can happen? Co-writer by Bombchab, Bombach, and Emily Mortimer, Joe Kelly, Fleur, countless other US films and television series, many of them influenced by SBO hit the White Lotus, which draw withdrawal over the lifestyle of the rich and famous at the moment. There are far too many of these glory tribute to the 1% on our screen, but most of them include a murder, the perfect couple on some very ubiquitous cons- conspiring so we can tell ourselves that we are not merely even watching a selection of worst kitchen with ocean views. There is so such instinct or joy in his mind life crisis is so mind that crisis isn't really the appreciate word, and yet his is a comedy that make its central character deeply seriously pure may struggle to do the same. More like this, the real reason, and just like that felt house dollar priceless bought fare to the UK. 16 of the best film in 2025 so far. Okay, thank you guys. Stay tuned in next video.